guys. So as promised, so obviously we're moving. As you can see, half the stuff's gone. Some of the cupboards are bare. Going through the stuff, we are moving. So basically, I know I said I'll be doing a live, but we're having to pack up a lot sooner. Because it's to do with the removal, people and stuff like that. Um, so I'm now doing three, three pre-recorded videos for you, and I apologise for that. So, um, so today's is a make, with a little bit of a bonus at the end. It's using cork fabric. Someone asked me recently, can we have some more miniature craft mates for craft fairs? Um, and that takes minimalist time to do. So I'm working on the basis of we don't do much for men in this group. I know some of my bags are unisex, but there isn't much for men. So I've done what I call and it's so easy, and so a beginner can make this. All you need is some cork fabric that's got a fabric back, or felt back. You'll need templates, snaps. The templates are the printables that you can find in the group. And you'll need cam snaps or snaps. I'm just going to use cam snaps because they're the cheapest on the market. And for those who are starting off, or if you're doing craft fairs, they're just ideal. You need a sewing machine, and a size 16 needle, 16 100 needle. So we're doing a card wallet. So if I just basically get a few cards out of my wallet. So I've got a card. You can fit up to about 10 in here. I had 10 in here last night. Um, or if you've bought gift vouchers for Christmas, you can make some pretty gift vouchers. And all you can see is it's got two rows of sewing. The cam snap in the middle holds these three sections together, and you are only cutting one piece of fabric. So yeah, it's just simple, quick, easy make. Then at the end, I'm going to show you something that I've been doing for years, and it's only occurred to me that there is a bit of scrap. So if you've got a square piece of fabric, you'll have like four pieces of scrap fabric, of cork. So I'm going to teach you what I do for cable ties. So I'm going to jump to the overhead camera. Um, this one, and talk you through it. So in the section, so this is the bank card safe wallet. In the digital download, you'll find just a printout like this, just one sheet. Print it out. If you are a person that can't print out or can never get it right, and you are ordering something from the shop, I will print this off for free. But if everything's packed up at this end, it might be a while before you get it. It might be middle of November to the end of November before you actually get it in 2025. Right, so if you are printing out, measure this to make sure it's 1 inch. These dots here, you need to hole punch out. So I use my Prim tool, and I basically just hole punch those out so I know where to do some marking. So once you've got your fabric, your cork fabric, you're going to mark it all out. So I think that's the wrong way. That's the right way. Once you've drawn out, so I use a tool that Laura sells, Little Stitcher Sews, which is the tool, because you have to draw on top of your cork fabric, and you just trace around it, and then just put some dots in where those hole punch marks are. You've got the bottom of the wallet. Now the bottom part of the wallet is this part here. Okay, don't cut these up or chuck those in the bin. I'll show you at the end how to do some cable ties, which I know I have a lot of gadgets and a lot of cables within our household. So I've been making these for years, and it just basically means all the cables are kept safe, and they're not going to get damaged and stuff. Right, okay, so You need a tailor's awl, which I haven't grabbed. Haven't packed that one yet. Okay, so you'll need one cam snap, so you'll need the female part and the male part. So two caps, one male and one female. Okay, keep those spare, keep those safe because we're going to need those for something else. Right, okay, so we know this is the bottom. So there is a longer part, this bit here is longer than this bit here, only by a few millimeters, but it is longer. So the smaller one is the bottom. So first off, we're going to work on the two sides. And what I tend to do is, let me just grab my tools. I haven't grabbed them all. So you need like a roller or something just to squash it. And I'm folding this into level with this. I'm just giving that a really good press. Okay, just going to pop a clip on it because how I store my cork, I roll it up into a long tube, and unfortunately it does basically make this a bit curly. Okay, repeat the same for the other side. So I'm matching it up to there. Okay, pop a clip. You can see whereabouts this is going. Obviously, we'll poke a hole through both of those in a minute. We're going to do the bottom one now. So we're going to bring that up. We're just going to give that a good roll. I'm just going to pop a clip in that just to hold the place. Okay, so working on the basis, we are going to use the male part on this part. So there's my female, which is the bit that dips in. This is the male that sticks out, like it's a little tube that sticks out. We're going to work with the male first. I'm going to poke a hole in that first mark on that bottom flap. Okay, then we're going to find the next hole, next mark, pop a hole into that, and then the last one we'll just pop a hole into that. Okay, taking the actual cap, we are going to find that bottom edge and poke that through. Same with the next one. Okay, same with this one. There goes that in. I'll put those back on. Pop the male into position. Now it's quite thick and dense. You're going to need your cam snap tool. This is the most fiddliest part. I do find this the most fiddliest part because you're concentrating on the cap, the male, and 3 pieces of fabric basically. Okay, so take those clips out because it's restricting me. Okay, I'm in. And you're going to proper squash that down. Oh, that didn't work. I had a few problems with this at the start, so take out that snap, that part of the snap. The male's still alright. Start again. What had happened was the snap, the cap part had moved, and obviously when I squashed it together, Now that's perfect. That's actually done it this time. So I'm going to pop some clips, 3 clips or 2 clips on each of the sides, like so, making sure that's lying flat. And then I'm going to basically just sew 1/8 of an inch away, reverse my stitch at starting at the end. You can go round if you want to, totally up to you to make it look like a finish. I think I might do that on this one. I didn't do that on this one. I just did 2 rows of sewing there, but there's nothing stopping you going round all the way just to make it look a finished item once you have got this on. Or there is nothing stopping you before you put that cam snap on, sewing around that bottom bit as well, just so when you close it up, it does like you got stitching. So it's totally up to you. You can take this as far as you want. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine. Okay, so I've got my Janome HD9, my heavy duty out. I've got size 16/100 in, and I've got polyester thread. Okay, so stitch length number 4, and I'm doing 1/8 of an inch away. Make sure you reverse your stitch at the start and at the end. I am going to go all the way around. Just to see what it looks like, if it looks any different or... and see which one I actually prefer over whether 2 rows of stitches or stitching all the way around. Just make sure that's nice and flat when you come to that part. And then you're just going to reverse your stitch at the end. Okay, so I've stitched all the way around. I'm just going to trim back my loose pieces of thread. I've got a little bit of a bird's nest at the start, but it's livable. Okay. Then we're just going to poke a hole through that, get another snap cap out. Get my tailor's awl, poke a hole through that mark. The snap cam, the cap side needs to go from the front. So this is the front of the wallet. And then you get your female, pop that over the top. This one will be a lot easier. Just squeeze that down. Just squeeze that one more time because... Okay, so you've got that basically finished. And you can pop some cards in there just to see if it'll fit. Let's get a card. I've got a 1 card with no details on. This is my football season pass, which is the same size as a credit card basically. But yeah, so that's that basically, and that's finished. You can store up to 10 in there because we did actually get 10 in there last night when I was trying that out. Such a basic, easy make. Like I said, gift cards, anything like that, you can. Okay, so I've got some of my leftover cork fabric. So let me just have a little bit of a tidy up. I'm going to get 1 set of cam snap parts out. So that's a male and female and 2 caps. No sew project this part is. So I make these. So I tie my cable. I just yeah. So I make these little things out of scrap pieces of cork, and I make them in different sizes. So I've got this one here. This one is rounded. So this one's rounded on the ends. And this one's bigger. So if I open up this one compared to this one, a lot much bigger. For if the cables, there's a lot more cable to store. So with this, there's about quite a large amount of cable rolled up. So I got a new gadget the other day, just like a part of a light, and this now needs a cable tie for it. So I'm just going to teach you how to make a cable tie. Okay, so just get a quarters rule and a rotary cutter. Got those. Tend to measure with my fingers, kind of how big I want it to be. So that's about 2.5 inches. That's about 2.5 inches there. So I just do this. Make sure I've got a bit of leeway. So probably need about 2.5 inches. So this is 2 3/4. I'll just go with that. So depending on how thick you want it, but don't go any less than an inch because of your can snap caps are quite large. So I'm doing an inch wide. Gonna just neaten up the finish of this. These ties are great for when you go like abroad and putting them in your bag and that they don't get crushed or they don't get damaged because there's nothing worse than a fractured cable, especially when you can't get to a shop to actually buy a new cable. So generally, if you want to round it off or if you want to leave it like that, just go ahead with the next steps. I like rounding them off recently, so that blue one was a recent one. So I'm just gonna round off the corners a bit, just make it look a bit more neater. Don't want to go too much into your fabric because because you can't lose too much because obviously your cam snap needs to fit in. Then simple as okay where that falls in the center. And now I'm going to poke my hole there. So on cam snap there, put the mail in. Okay, so that's that one. And then I give it a bit of a squash. So I've got an indent, kind of where it's going to fall. Just right there. Poke a hole. And you want both of the cap size to go through the front, the better part, the right side of the fabric. Then pop that in. And your wrong side of the fabric will have the male and the female parts. Squash it down. Just make sure that works, which it does. Okay, and then you just get your cable and tie it up. I have hundreds of these everywhere. Some cables I've got 2 on because they're quite large. So, and I've got some that are like really, really long, and I've added quite a few different like 3 cam snaps on this side, 3 males on this side, 3 males, females on this side. So I've got like a long strip. So if I want to use it on something else, like a extension cable or something within the house. I've done that. So yeah, and you can add as many cam stamps as you want, but that's what I do with these, just to basically stop things from getting damaged and stuff. Right, I'll just go to the front view. So that is today's make, and I'm sorry it's a really short one. But everything's hectic at the moment, and I'm sorry it's not alive, but it's an ideal project. And like I say, any leftover fabric, you can make a matching these. Now, I have got an idea of doing a travel case, which is for jewellery and watches and stuff like that. The travel case will have these in. So I am working on the lines of next year when people start travelling and stuff. So I am working on some travel goodies, and there'll be small travel goodies, little travel boxes. I'm also thinking of something that you can put into if you've got a vinyl cutter. So if you've got like a Cricut machine, I don't have one no more, but if you have one, I can design one because I've got still the Cricut software and I still pay for it for some reason. But I can design like labels to go on, and you can put it on vinyl. I'll show you how to do that. Well, thank you very much for sticking with me. Thank you very much for your support and the move. I'm knackered, not even half packed, but we're getting there. Yeah, so next time in the live, you'll see a new place. So the next sew along will be in the end of November or December, I want to say. Actually, the earliest is December. But there is two more pre-recorded. Now, the next pre-recorded will be how to clean your machine, which I'm going to film right now, so I'll be wearing the same things. And then the other one, I'm going to be talking about stitch length and needles. I'll probably be wearing the same thing because I'm going to record it all today. So yeah, any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Don't forget, this is in the printable downloads. It's called the Bank Card Safe Wallet. It could be your credit cards that go in there as well because they're the same size. I just called it the Bank Card Safe Wallet. So have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all hopefully soon. Bye.